dream. I was flying high, I was feeling fine. I won't be put in line, 'cause I'm ready to do my time.
Simply Financial with Christopher Calandra, Certified Financial Planner, is an innovative, comprehensive, informative, and cutting-edge podcast that discusses financial topics ranging from personal finance, economics, politics, and personal growth. Simply Financial will cover intriguing and thought-provoking questions so that the listener can simply increase their financial IQ.
Welcome to the Simply Financial podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Calandra. We are in Season 3. This is Episode 34. And today's discussion revolves around a presentation I've been doing a lot lately on an individual level as well as on a group level, because I've been discussing and interacting with a lot of real estate investors recently. So today's show topic is 7 wealth building rules for real estate investors. As regular listeners know, I'm a certified financial planner. I've been working as a financial planner my entire career, beginning in 1992. So it's the only thing I've ever done full time. But along the way, I've also consistently been a real estate investor. It's part of the strategy for me personally to build wealth for my family, and my real estate holdings and projects complement my traditional investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRAs, 401ks, college funds, and the list goes on. So I bought my first real estate investment property when I was 23. I bought a condominium in New Haven, Connecticut. It had 2 bedrooms. I lived in one and I rented out the other one. After I got married, Joelle joined me in the condo. We lived there a few years. Then we bought our first home, our starter home, if you will, and we rented out the condo. And along the way, I've had experience including new home construction, flipping homes, residential income properties, commercial income properties. I've had experience doing creative financing. Currently, I have a small but solid portfolio that includes single-family homes, multi-family income-producing properties, and several commercial properties that are also income-producing oriented. And my 7 wealth building rules for real estate investors is kind of my outline on how you could be successful, because investing in real estate as part of a wealth building goal is wonderful, but it's not easy. So in rapid succession, my 7 rules are: the importance of goal setting. Preparation is key. You need to develop a wealth building plan. You need a team. You need to track your progress. You need to utilize the power of diversification. And lastly, be careful with debt. So let's go through them, and I'll give you some of my thoughts on each of them. To begin with, establish goals. I know this is a cliche. It's been around for a very long time, but it is enormously important. There are all kinds of studies and anecdotes and research that shows that you need to have goals. You need to write them down. They need to be quantifiable. So please write down your goals. And of course, most of these rules, let me just take a step back. Most of these rules we're going to talk about, if not all of them, apply very specifically to real estate investors. But they also apply to pretty much anybody who wants to make smart decisions with money, who want to win with money, and are looking to build wealth. There is tremendous crossover. So any endeavor you're looking to pursue, you should establish your goals, write them down. And I think for purposes of this discussion, I want you to consider this. You need to think not just in the long term. For example, somebody might say, I want to have 10, 15, 20 income producing properties. You need to think both short and long term, and I'll add a third category, midterm. You need to think along different time ranges as you are establishing your goals. So, for example, let's say you have not invested in real estate and you would like to invest in a real estate investment type of some sort. You might say that by the end of the next calendar year, I want to acquire my first property. And by the end of 3 years, I want to reduce my debt on that property by 20%. And in the first 5 years after that purchase, I want to purchase a second property. And over the long term, let's say over the next 25 years, I would like to buy a property every 3 years, something like that. You need to establish goals, write them down, think short term, think midterm, think long term, while you are establishing your goals and looking towards your future. So that's number one, establish goals. As I said at the outset, I know it's a cliche, but it's really, really worth mentioning because it is important, really, really important. Number two, in terms of real estate investing, you need to prepare. That is absolutely key. You need to get educated. There is the adage that a fool will soon be separated from their money. And if you are the fool entering into the real estate investment market, you will get separated from your money. It is complex. It's very competitive. There's lots of things to know, from taxes to markets to property types to dealing with agents, inspectors, tenants. The list goes on and on and on. So you need to be prepared, which means you need to get educated. You can't just watch an hour infomercial at 2 o'clock this morning and then decide you are going to quit your job and begin flipping houses. If only it was that easy. You need to get educated. That can take many, many different forms, and you could combine a number of different ways to be educated. But there are great books and magazines that talk about real estate investing. The internet, of course, has a treasure trove of information. There are any number of sites that could help you increase your IQ when it comes to real estate investing. I'm a big podcast listener, in addition to having my own Simply Financial podcast. There are numerous excellent podcasts that are helpful for new as well as experienced real estate investors. And beyond that, you can talk to other real estate investors. Most communities have local real estate investor groups. You should participate in those groups. You can talk to other real estate investors, talk to real estate agents, mortgage individuals, attorneys. You can get educated by just talking to people, networking, asking questions, and soaking up as much as you can. So you got to be prepared. That's key. You need to get educated. In other words, you need to do your homework. And this is not just before you do your first deal. There's always something to learn. I'm experienced, but I am certainly not at the point where I know everything and there's nothing that I cannot learn. In fact, this morning I had a meeting about one of my properties with a real estate agent and some potential tenants for a commercial property. And I learned a number of important things just in that meeting alone today. So you have to continue to become more educated and to continue to learn, and you need to do your homework. Sometimes people will go out and say, I want to be a real estate investor, and they go buy the first property. Hopefully you could see the folly in that. You need to do your homework. You need to put your time in. So preparation is key. I don't want to belabor the point, but it is a key one. Be prepared. So we talked about goals. We talked about preparation. Number 3 is develop a wealth building plan. If you want to build wealth and you want real estate investing to be part of that plan, that's great. I am in favor of it more often than not, but you need a plan. So some of the things that you want to consider are what you want to buy. How much do you want to buy? In other words, what price point are you pursuing? And have an end game. So there's an adage in real estate that you make your money at the buy. That might sound confusing at first because a lot of people think that you make the money when you sell. If I buy a property at X and over time I improve the property and the market cooperates and goes up, and I sell it for Y, I make money at the sale. But the buy is the key part of when you are going to set yourself up for success. So you want to have an end game, and you can often work backwards towards your wealth building plan. How are you going to finance the property? What type of properties do you want to buy? Are you going to do it on your own, or are you going to have partners? Do you have cash to pay for the property, or are you going to borrow through traditional means, or are you going to borrow through alternative creative financing that is available in the real estate investing marketplace? You need to have a plan. You're not going to end up wealthy accidentally. So you need to develop a wealth building plan. Part of what I do at Elliott Wealth Management Services and what my team helps our clients do is develop a wealth building plan. Now, that does not, for all people, incorporate real estate investing, but for lots of people it does. A classic example is entrepreneurs, people that own small businesses. They often will own the building that their business is in. Oftentimes it's in a different entity, so they may have the ABC Corp is the business, and then the property might be in the XYZ LLC. So it's pretty common for people to have a portion of their wealth in real estate investing. We will help people that want to incorporate that into their wealth building plan. As a role of a certified financial planner, am I going to go and look for flip opportunities for my clients? No. But from a macro level, we want to work with clients to make sure they have a plan, increasing the chances that they make good decisions along the way and decreasing the chances that they make poor decisions or encounter pitfalls. It's not foolproof, of course, but my experience as a financial planner combined with my real estate investing experience, I think puts me in a wonderful position to be a good advocate for my clients. So number 3 is you need to develop a wealth building plan. Number 4 is often talked about, but worth mentioning. It's a key part of my success, and that is you need to build a team. You need to build your network. I think real estate investors, now this is a little biased, but I think real estate investors should have a certified financial planner that they are working with. There's a number of ways that you can contract with a financial advisor to help you, but I'm a big believer in having a certified financial planner on your team. Of course, this team is likely to include real estate agents, inspectors, one or more attorneys, tradesmen, lenders, and a key part of the team is a CPA. Having a very good accountant, especially an accountant that specializes and has a good understanding of real estate investments, is a super important piece of the puzzle as you build your team. Of course, you could have mentors, real estate investors that have been there, done that will look out for you. You could build your network through the real estate investment clubs that I mentioned before. There are communities on Facebook and on other social media sites that you could tap into. But this is not an individual sport, if you will. You're going to need a team. I mentioned this morning I had a meeting at a commercial property with a real estate agent and potential tenants, but I was there with my partner, John, and he is such a good partner when it comes to real estate. To be clear, he's not involved in Elliott Wealth Management Services. He's not a financial planner, but he was great to have there because he's a builder, he's a construction guy, and his skill set is significantly different than mine. Believe me, you don't want me building anything for you. I am not a construction guy, but he's part of my team, and he's a really key part of my success, and that's an example of building your team. So next thing I wanted to talk about is tracking your progress. This is something that you may not have focused on before, and we talk to all of our clients about this, whether they're involved in